welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the sign of air sign because we're in Aquarius season. Yesterday was my birthday and that was great. Got to see my son and he bought me this beautiful Harry Hartog bookmark and a voucher and a beautiful card. Harry Hartog's got the best books ever. And I haven't had a beautiful bookmark like this for a very, very long time, which is great because I like to read. That's my thing. And a bunch of flowers. So that was sweet, very sweet of him. So we're doing air because he came yesterday and I think he wanted a reading. And I asked him and he said no, but I think he kind of did. So I'm doing a reading for him. It's part of a way to say thank you. The first card I pulled was the 9 of coins. Now, I've got the fan going, so that's the background noise, it's because it's really hot. I don't want to kill the flowers with the air conditioner. 9 of coins is abundance. It's luck and abundance, which I feel very grateful for my present. It can also mean working from home. You may be trying to get a business off the ground, like as in what you do as a sideline hobby, a side hustle. And maybe that's what you're meant to do. Like you're meant to get this off the ground slowly but surely. Sometimes word of mouth spreads better than online, I find. I was very fortunate enough to be picked up in the heat the other day. It was really hot and I was walking in it. Shouldn't have walked in it. I just wanted to get out of the house because I've been stuck inside for 2 days because I was sleepwalking. 2 nights prior to that, I was worried about my son. And I was looking for him in my dream, in my sleepwalking state. And I slipped. I don't know how I slipped and fell, but I fell. And I had a concussion. I had a lump in the back of my head that was tender to touch. So I don't know how I fell. I don't remember falling. I just know that I did. And so then I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, then the following day, and I was vomiting because that's what concussion happens. It causes you to vomit. What a shock, I think. I'm not meant to go to sleep when I do. But anyway, this lovely lady picked me up and drove me to the shops to get food. And then she was kind enough to drive me home because she was worried about me walking in the heat or whatever I was going to attempt to do. And so I bought her a bottle of wine to say thank you. And I thought that was the least I could do to say thank you. There's some kind people in the world. Don't always show themselves, but they are out there. It's happened to me before. Every time I wash my clothes, we have a giant thunderstorm. And normally it comes down at a cracking pace to the point it's like flood waters. The last time I washed my clothes and I was soaking them, I soaked them because there's COVID around at the moment. It's very strong at the moment where I live. I don't want to keep getting it back. I'm susceptible to it. I have a low immune system, so I've been soaking my clothes. So I soaked my clothes and then I let the water out and then it poured and I got completely drenched and I got rescued off the highway. It was flash flooding. This lovely man in this huge Jeep picked me up and took me home. So I was extremely fortunate at that day too. So one extreme of heat to extreme temperature of cold water. It's just so sudden. My son's just come back from camping up at Seals Rocks, my youngest son, and I wouldn't wash until I got a message to say he was home safe. And I texted him back and said, oh, by the way, I can wash now. I can take my clothes in the soaking bucket that I've got them in at the moment. And I'm guessing we're going to have a thunderstorm this afternoon. But that's what happens with me. Queen of Arrows. So this is crossing your path. There's someone around you who's an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, doesn't have to be any specific gender, who's around you, who's crossing your path, or has crossed your path recently. They are air, which is why I've got the feather, representing thoughts. They have a lot of thoughts. They have so many thoughts that they don't know what to make of which ones to listen to and which ones not to. So they run a commentary in their head and overthink and overguess things, and it sends them kind of loopy. They're overthinkers. That's Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, all 3 of them. The Aquarians are the grandfathers of the air signs, and then you've got the teenagers, which are the Librans, and then you've got the Gemini, are the babies of the air signs. unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, my two boys and I both have placements in Gemini. We both have placements in Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarian, and he's deliberate. So we've got that air dynamic. The thoughts over processed thoughts. They like to play mental games with you. They may make you overthink yourself, question your abilities, because they're trying to play a game with you. They're trying to play the A game. They're trying to beat you at the game. That's what they do. My sons love, they're big gamers, so there you go. The next card I've got on the bottom is the Three of Wands. This is like waiting for your ships to come in. Maybe you sent out some resumes to get some jobs. You've been trying to find work. Nothing's come back because of different things, and you're getting frustrated. But it's saying that you've still got those Three Wands out there, so don't panic. They haven't got back to you yet because they probably haven't gotten back from their holidays. A lot of people go on holidays in high positions, and they don't make decisions on hiring until late January, early February, because they've got budget to try and figure out. They don't know what this first quarter is going to be, and because everything's been sticky with the change of the government, with people like Trump, he then changes the narrative of the rest of the world, because we look to America as a kind of guiding light, if you will, and whatever America's going through, generally it predicts future trends, and then people can't make decisions based on what's going to happen with the new Trump government, and how's that going to affect trade, and how's that going to affect, we had this long discussion yesterday with my son, how's that going to influence the rest of the world because we've got a new person in government. And his decisions will influence, because we look to America, as everyone in the world looks to America, to take stock of. We're looking at changing our men in government, which I hope we don't. I like Albanese, I think he's a good Prime Minister. He's very fair, and he comes from a meagre, humble background, and he got so far. I'm impressed with him as a person, as a human being. He seems to make decisions based on humanity, not on business. That's why I like Albanese. He's trying to put in for an increase in childcare, financial money for childcare, because it's a lot to look after kids. Not many people can afford to not work. Like, you have to have two incomes these days because the cost of living is so high. Eight of Arrows. We've got a self-contained mental prison. In the past, you may have been in a self-contained prison where you didn't know how to get out of it. Maybe you're mentally being tortured, you've had some bad things happen. I can give you an example. So the week before Christmas, my son was in a car accident. Totaled the car. And then Christmas Day, my mum fell and broke her arm. Christmas Day, yeah, first time. There's no way you can get into the outpatients ward when you're that sick. Like, gee, you'd be stuck there for hours and probably pick up something else as well. So we didn't take her up there that day. And then I got COVID to the point that I was really, really sick, and I should have been hospitalised. I'm pretty sure I should have been in a ward. I couldn't stop vomiting and the whole thing. Body aches, and I couldn't stand up in the shower. I was a mess. But I didn't go anywhere because I didn't want to get stuck up again in the emergency ward and get something else on top of what I already had. So I just chose to stay home. Luckily, I have a really good pharmacist across the road. She's known me for a while now. I think I trust her judgment. And she was monitoring me every 2 days. I would call in and I'd get, Hydrolite or whatever it was I needed. And slowly but surely I got well with her instruction. She knows all the drugs, the interactions. So I knew what I was taking. I was living off Nurofen? Yeah, Nurofen, Panadol, a cocktail, and aspirin. Oh, and Hydrolite, and just juice and wine to make me sleep, because I'm a terrible sleeper. So I had to do something to knock myself out. So I wasn't going to feel it, because it was just awful. It was awful I hate being sick. And I ain't sleep anyway, so I had to knock myself out with a cocktail. Didn't go so well. I wasn't very well. I lost a lot of weight. And I just had to cope, put up with it. Couldn't get anyone to come and be with me because everyone was working, or I didn't want them to get it because they work in the medical industry, so I just chose not to call upon anyone, just did it myself. Luckily, I managed to get up and walk to get supplies, but I probably shouldn't have been walking. The moon, we have someone around you who is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpion. Now I put black obsidian, which is a grounding stone for people that are very emotional. And the moon represents emotion and illusion. Someone who's in the film industry is around you that's taking note of what you're doing. Not sure if they're assessing you, if you're looking at getting into the movie world as an actor or, I don't know, as an entertainer, but you are being heavily monitored by this Cancer, Scorpion, Pisces person. Either one can be either star sign. They may have placements. They may have many placements in water. I've got 3 placements in water. I have Cancer, I have Pisces, and I have Scorpion in my chart. Extremely emotional. There's a book called The Geisha. I don't know if anyone's ever read it. And it talks about this child that has a lot of water in their chart. And she's got blue eyes even though she's Chinese. It's my favourite book. It's the best book I ever read. He only ever wrote one book, this author, but he did an outstanding job of it. It was my favourite book. I've still kept it. I found a copy of it on in one of those, portable libraries. Those libraries that have books you can go read for free and you return it, or you donate. That's where I found it. Yeah. Is it Tales of the Geisha? I think it's called. Arthur Golden is the author. And yeah, Memoirs of the Geisha. And it's the best, as I said, the best book I've ever read. That's it. Everyone was reading it back in 1998, 99, because I lived in Sydney at the time, and that was everyone on the train or the bus was reading that book. We've got the Empress. Someone around you might be wanting to get pregnant, or is pregnant, or is about to have a child, who's a water sign. And they are excited, and it may be their first or second child. But it talks about the Empress is everything. She embodies all the water signs. All the signs. She's also the Queen of Swords. She's the discerning leader. She's the Queen of Cups, the very empathetic, very compassionate leader. She could be Queen of Wands, which is dynamic, force of nature, creative, marketing expert, very leader in the world. So it's like a Leo, Sagittarian, Aries component, and she could be the Earth sign. She's all for kings and queens in the Rider-Waite deck, the major arcana. She represents all of them. The Empress has got everything, and that in a bag of chips. And a lot of people can be intimidated by her because she is the whole package. People get intimidated by the whole package, but she's abundant and she attracts, she nurtures everyone. She's very nurturing. That's who's around you, who's coming into your world. If you're not looking for someone, watch out. She's coming and you're going to be with her. It's going to be like Caesar and Cleopatra, a very unlikely match, but a very good match, and you guys will be like a power couple. That's what I see. You might be going from rags to riches. I mean, this person could have a lot of money and you don't. But what you have is a gold line between your 2 ears because you've got a brain and you've got intuition, and you may be a psychic, he may be psychic, and you may be psychic, and that's how you both connect. I was dreaming about someone last night. I don't know who, but I was lying in bed with him and I rested my head on his face. And he had dark hair, dark skin, a goatee, and I was with him in his bedroom. And it was like I was lying right next to him, and I woke up thinking he was still next to me, and I was like in shock that he wasn't there because it was so real. I'm a psychic medium. When I watch footage of someone that I'm admiring or I have a crush on, okay, I have a crush on the Prince of Dubai. He's married, so it's okay. There's nothing going to happen with that. But I had a huge crush on him. He's so good looking. His name's Faza. And I was lying next to him last night. I travelled to see him. I was looking for him in my sleep. And I only ever do that if I connect so deeply with you. I have to watch a lot of footage of you to get an impression of a future impression, or to even get to you astrally, I have to watch footage. That's how I work. I operate in extremely unusual ways. I mean, I was with my son the other day and I could see, when you get a bill to pay for your rego. I could see a rego paper in my head. I'm like, your rego's due soon, isn't it? You shouldn't have spent all this money on me for my birthday. And he's like, looked at me and went, but yeah, but it's not till June. I went, well, how come I'm sensing it? And then I looked around, and there on the next to his computer was the rego slip that's meant for June. And I kind of went, oh wow, that was just like so random, so left of field. I can sense things like that. I'm noticing my eldest son is starting to do that. He was sitting at the table with me yesterday, and I had a glass of water inconspicuously right near my bed. This bed's, you know, it's a small studio apartment, and he's like, oh, I feel like a glass of water. I went, oh, I'll get you one. I said, that's interesting. He said, you don't have many cups, do you? I said, no, I don't, because it's just me that lives here. He said, you have to get some more glasses. I said, yeah, I broke one the other day. I had 3, now I've got 2. And so I picked up this cup and I gave him the water, and it was like he knew that that glass of water was directly behind him. He could sense it. I call it Spider-Man senses, and he has it, and I didn't realise he had it, but he has it as well. First time he's ever displayed it to me. I don't know if he's always had it, but I think he just senses things. The other one, he's like Alison Dubois. Her 3 children, she says one of them could find the razor or the keys. She's a finder. My youngest son is a finder. Whenever I used to lose my keys, my youngest son would find them and go, oh, it's over here. Or he'd go to the room and find them. I'm like, how did you know where to look? Because he could sense them. He senses objects as well. They both have these abilities. I thought it was just one of them. Now I realise it's the both of them. I'll think of one of them and they'll message me, oh, I thought of my youngest son at camping today, and I was about to text him, and then he texted me to say, I'm home from camping. I went, there you go. Thanks to that, I knew. So the 3 of Cups here, I'm rambling, is to do with celebrations like a birthday, a wedding, an engagement party, a housewarming, birth of a child. You might be invited to a baby shower. Then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is to do with money and assets. So in 1 year's time, you could be getting a lot of money. It's talking about a windfall. Or you could get a new car in 1 year's time. I'm going to have to put the fan back on. I know it makes a noise, but it's so hot where I live. I'm dripping sweat. Yeah. You could be in the line for a car that you didn't know you were getting, or inherit a car, or be given a car, but it's on them seeing a car. In 1 year's time, you could, your whole life could change. It could be a massive upgrade. Like it's saying, like you just go from rags to riches, or someone knows of you or looks at you online and studies your stuff online and wants a personal reading. We've got 8 of Coins. I do personal reading, I just don't know how to set it up. I'm no good with computers. I'm no good with making buttons where you go donate here. I don't know how to do any of that. So I'm hoping someone can just email me. I'm going to have to put in my description my email. I'm open for private readings now. I met this woman, like I said, that drove me home in the heat. And I gave her my number. I said, if you want a reading? I already did a reading for her. I started picking stuff up off her car. It was in her car. And I said, oh, you've got a son that's going to have a granddaughter for you. She goes, well, no, none of them have had kids yet. I said, well, one of them's going to, and she's got red hair. And she works for NDIS, and she's got really red hair. It's naturally blonde. And she's got very fair skin. She said, yeah, that's my son's new girlfriend. I went, I was picking her up. So I said, well, there's a little girl around her. She was shocked that I picked it up, but I did. 8 of Coins. This is a new job. So some of you are going to come into a new job where you have to learn on the job. So it's like a traineeship, apprenticeship. It's a step forward where you get trained on the job, but you also do study at TAFE. Then the TAFE would be the Justice Card. You have to sign a document, which means you're going to undertake the course for a period of time where you do part study, part work, and you may even decide to study law later on as well. That's what I'm picking up. Okay, so the 8 of Coins is in the next 8 years. You've got this big lot of study that you're going to undertake. It may be university, it may be something like that. In the next 3 months, there is a baby shower or a birthday that you're going to go to. You're going to hear of birth. Okay. I've got a cousin that's having a child and is due in April. So that's actually correct. I don't know what part of April, the end of April, but it's due in April. Now this deck is called Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. One of my favourite decks. She does, like, it's a weird deck. If I had shuffled it correctly, I would have had it in succession where there's an action card, there's an inquiry card, and there's an outcome card. But I'm just shuffling the whole lot. Okay, so the first card I've got is Share Your Voice. Come out of the cave of persecution and expression. Some of you may have felt the need to hide your light because you have this ability and people don't always get it and they're scared of it. Don't dim to fit in. Again, playing down who you are. Ever unfolding rose. Oh, that's a beautiful card to get. That's a really nice card to get. The ever unfolding rose is part of what they used to call the rose order. There's an order called Rose. There's an actual pub in, I'm going to say, Lambton, that has the insignia. I think it's called the Northumberland Hotel. I can't remember the name of it. It's next to the park in Lambton, and it's called the Order of the Rose. There was such a thing. So the ever unfolding rose is the cracked open. It's you having feelings for someone. Very strong feelings. Yeah, 24. Oh, this is nice. I was hoping my son would meet a nice girl. So this is saying yes. This is saying yes to that. Yeah, it's happening for you, not to you. Everything's going to be okay. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open, to open through hurt and loss, to allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies as much as triumphs and adventures. Whenever you find yourself at the moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open no matter how much it hurts. To continually unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you're going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps as hard as it may be, life is happening for you, not to you. And one day, in the not so distant future, you may bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently, to treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby, to wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. The seas may not all be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, not too far from today, you will look back at this transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything's going to work out for you. And we've got Share Your Voice. So that's that card. The rose was confirmation. Share Your Voice is the action card. You need to do some public speaking, is what it's saying. Yeah, share your voice. This is 76. It's talking about coming out of the cave, speak to those who can hear you. You are being called to share your voice, perhaps by speaking up in a relationship or through writing, journaling, singing, or other creative expression. Drawing is a creative expression. We each hold a truth deep within us that belongs to be expressed, sculpted for lifetimes. The voice of your soul is like no other. It carries with it wisdom that can only be gained through soul history and growth. By remembering, tapping into, expressing this unique tone, we not only heal ourselves, we also heal the planet at large. When you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and call a missing piece of your home. Your individual voice is the most powerful sound current on the planet. If you kept your soul's voice silenced or held back, chanting or singing could be truly life-changing for you. And we shed the layers of our personality and start getting our unique soul speak through us. We discover that we actually have a very clear message that belongs to be shared. The more we speak it, the clearer it gets. There's never been a better time in history than right now to rise up, speak the truth, and share your soul's voice. If you feel fearful, know that you are not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonise. As we each rise up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. Yeah, you have to speak up. And don't dim to fit in. So don't downplay your amazing qualities and gifts because they were given to you by the divine. It was not an accident that you were born with these gifts, because sometimes people that don't have certain sensory, they might be low in hearing, and they have trouble with hearing, they may have trouble with seeing. If these people are challenged in that way, psychic abilities are usually very present, because they had to use something else to read the room other than sight or sound. So don't interfere is an inquiry card. Yeah. So if you're inquiring whether to stand out or not, you say, no, stand out for you. And then share your voice with the world. And 42s don't interfere. Yeah. Don't dim your light to accommodate someone else's smallness. We are all born to shine big and bright. The universe is expanding and you are part of the universe. So expanding is part of your nature. If someone makes you want to retract, notice and slowly back away. They're not for you, and you are not for them. Better yet, find it within yourself to expand and shine your light anyway. Flowers don't open and close according to who is walking by. They open and show their beauty regardless. If others don't want to be around you, or you make them uncomfortable, it's because you're shining light on the fact that they are dimming to fit in. By choosing to shine bright, you may inspire them to turn on their light too, or not. Keep your light on anyway. All relationships are essentially an energetic agreement. The moment one person decides to start rising up and allowing their light to shine, it changes the energetic agreement and can create some waves. That's completely normal. The relationships that are meant to last will adapt to the change in energy. Others won't, because they were likely born under the proviso of, I love you as long as you don't shine brighter than me. And that's okay. Not all people are meant to be in your life forever, but the lessons they teach us can still live on. That's all I have for you today. My throat chakra's going crazy. That's confirmation that someone doesn't want to we need to tell them that they can be who they are. You can be who you are 100%, and if you can't, then you should get a new group of people to hang around. That's all I have for today for Air Science.